In this video, I want to take a look at a game which I played a few days ago, and it is a very short game. I think it is very instructive from a practical point of view. And the game started as a Sicilian defense, and I played before the wing gambit, which is not supposed to be very good. Now, the reason that I played the wing gambit is because, well, if you're black and you play the Sicilian, usually that means that you're gonna get to some extent some control of the game, because if you're going to the open Sicilian with knight f3 and d4, then black has the option of choosing which variation they want to play, whether they want to play the knight or the dragon or a Scheveningen, a Taimanov, can, it just goes on and on. So sometimes white doesn't want to go into the open Sicilian and they will play something else. They might play a Grand Prix attack, a C3 Sicilian, a Rossolimo. So there's lots of different anti-Sicilians, but one of the least popular ones is b4. And, well, there's a reason for that. With computers, we now know that objectively white just does not have enough compensation for the pawn, but because black is learning all of the theory, if they're playing, say, a knight or for a dragon, and then they're on top of that having to deal with a c3 Sicilian or a Rossolimo or whatever else, then they're really not gonna know this move that well, or at least relatively speaking. And well, most players are gonna take, simply because they know, okay, if I haven't seen this, it's probably not very good, which objectively again is correct. Now, you're not gonna see this move in a very high level tournament, but I don't think that its reputation is warranted, honestly. I think it's a very good practical choice. I play d4. The main line, if you want to call it that, is the martial variation with a3. But lately I've tried to mix things up a bit, so d4 and e6 by my opponent. You can play d5 immediately, which is a good thing in the Sicilian. If you can play d5 with black without losing, that usually means that you've equalized, which, looking at the evaluation, is more than equal. Black's slightly better. And I like this move, knight f6. This is an interesting variation that I got from an engine, not what actually happened in the game. And, well, here I just don't like white's position. Not only do I don't think that white doesn't have enough composition for the pawn, but also this, you're not gonna really get rid of this pawn anytime soon. Black can go a5, and well, the knight and the pawn are both controlling this square, so it's gonna be difficult to develop the knight on b1. And also this knight is just kind of a pain, controlling a lot of central squares. Bishop d3, knight c6, castles, and now this move just gives up the advantage. So it's interesting to see how older engines compare to newer engines, and they play moves which pretty much give up all the advantage. Here the position is really good for black, and after this it's pretty much equal again. Knight g5, and well, you can take the pawn, but now you take and you have to take back with the pawn, and now you have this ugly pawn structure, double isolated pawns which are weak. The point is you cannot take with the knight because goodbye queen, and that's game over. And this is similar to what happened in the game. d5 and now e5, and well, this is what I was referring to. From a practical point of view, now we have a French defense type structure, so unless black plays both the Sicilian and the French defense, they're gonna have a difficult time playing this position. And even if they know what to do, it's not so easy to play because, well, in the French defense you have two breaks. You have the c5 break. Obviously that's not possible because now the pawn is on b4, which means the only other break is f6. The f pawn is gonna have to break open the position. I mean, eventually. Knight c6, bishop d3. I could have played a3. This is still a possibility. And again, another interesting variation. This is usually the type of position that I get when I play this opening. Not exactly this position, but kind of these types of positions. I thought this move was interesting, b5. Obviously, the point is you can't take the pawn because, well, now you're getting rid of one of the central pawns, and you've traded pretty much the good white's good bishop for black's bad bishop. So I think black can really just be better here. You have this passed pawn. You've traded a pair of minor pieces, which means this king is a little bit safer. And, well, the light square bishop is kind of the best attacking piece in these types of positions. Usually you get a sacrifice on h7. Queen b6. Very obvious and standard move. You're just putting pressure on the pawn, which, okay, that makes sense. But I just don't like that the queen is coming out so early in the game, especially since this is not a normal French defense. You have an extra pawn with black. Now, I'm not saying you should try to hold on to the pawn, but just develop your other minor pieces first, as opposed to bringing the queen out early. Something like knight e7. And again, these are the types of positions that I get usually when I play this opening, so it's not like you're getting a massive advantage from the opening. And here my opponent just blundered because I guess he, he's not a French defense player, so this is just what happens. Knight takes, and goodbye queen. Here my opponent resigned because, well, you're gonna lose the queen. You have to play something like bishop d7, and now the trick doesn't work, so now bishop e3, defending the pawn, because now you were threatening to take the pawn, and just continue your development, and the game goes on. I mean, this is not like, this is a very simple tactic. So even if you don't play this opening, based on my opponent's rating, I'm not sure why he blundered. He was not like in terrible time pressure. I mean, it's very simple to calculate. But yeah, I mean, what I tell my students is you want to get positions that you are familiar with, and you want to get positions that your opponents are not familiar with, which nowadays is not so simple. because everyone has access to, free databases, and they can look up games, and they can prepare, like 20 moves deep. So if you are gonna get your opponent out of book, then you are gonna have to play something that's a little bit dubious. But then again, once your opponents start playing and they don't have the analysis of, a grandmaster or an engine, they're gonna make mistakes and they're gonna just, blunder and play badly, like this game shows. And then you'll win. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.